Hello. So, I just wanted to talk today. Today is 28th of January, Friday. Pretty much right before the Lunar New Year holiday. I got home, I just took a shower. I just went for a walk because I just wanted to walk after my last class today. I walked and got home, took a shower, and I just thought to myself that I just want to talk about last year, 2021. A lot of things happened, like a lot of things happened last year. Starting from January, I got into a big bike accident that I got really severely injured, that I couldn't walk at all for like a month. I'm over it. I got over the accident a while back, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, that was something very traumatizing last year, which had lasted for a while. And I also went through breakup last year, early last year, like January, February, March. Yeah, so that was also what I went through last year, early last year in 2021. Yeah, and I also moved out from a place that I was living with my ex-boyfriend, which was a big event to myself because I had never lived on my own before. I'm Korean, and in Korea it's really natural and kind of automatic situation for you to live with your parents until you actually get married or whatever. So I had never lived on my own before, and I moved out last year in January, and that was the first time ever that I tried living on my own, and it was cool. I went through a lot of ups and downs because obviously I had a bike accident and I was going through a breakup, so I was not emotionally and mentally right there. But one of the first things that I really appreciate about last year is that had I ever gone back to Korea, would I have been ever able to experience all those things that I experienced last year? Like, I'm so grateful for everything that happened to me last year, even though some of them were super sad and so I wouldn't say negative, but there were some sad incidents too. But all in all, I think I am so grateful for everything that happened to me last year, because those things made who I am right now. I don't think I'll be able to go through every single thing that happened to me last year. But first of all, yeah, that's the first thing that I wanted to articulate in this video. Moving out and finally starting to live on my own. That was definitely one of the biggest challenges that I did last year, and I am so thankful that I did it, and I'm so grateful that I did try to live on my own by myself for at least 6 months before I moved in with my roommate, with my current roommate right now. It was such a cool experience. I never thought I could live on my own, but I actually did, and it was fine. Sometimes it was lonely. I was very lonely sometimes. I was feeling a little bit depressed sometimes, but all in all, I think it was a very good experience. I think I needed that experience, so yeah, it was good. So January obviously was a tough month last year, and February was okay, March was okay, I think, and I think everything kind of went down in April. There were a couple of reasons, but the biggest reason was that there was a lockdown going on in Cambodia, and I was living on my own, and I really didn't know how to deal with it. I was super lonely, and I think I was very depressed. I wouldn't diagnose myself with depression, but I think I was pretty depressed. So that was last year, April. The lockdown lasted for around a month, and there was also a curfew as well for a few months, even after the lockdown got lifted. And I was living on my own, so I don't think I had ever experienced that deep depression and loneliness. I think there were a lot of triggers that actually caused that much loneliness and depression. But yeah, that was April, and I remember I did something really out of my character, which was to call my dad, and I literally cried so much. I called my dad and I told him I'm so lonely, I'm so sad, I just want to be by my family and I don't want to be alone anymore. I think I told him I'm done with Cambodia, which was not true. I was just going through a lot of emotions, that was all. I was not done with Cambodia, because if I ever left Cambodia with that emotion, you know, I just was going through breakup, and I was not mentally and emotionally healed, and I just started my life, not the life that I had with my ex-boyfriend, but I just started having my own life in Cambodia, as an individual person. So yeah, I was definitely not done with Cambodia. There were so many things that I really wanted to do in Cambodia, and there were so many people that I really wanted to be friends with as well. But yeah, depression just makes you feel like you're just not capable of anything, you know. So I just called my dad and cry. I'm so sad, Dad. I just want to come back to Korea. And my dad was like super supportive. He was like, you know what? If you feel like you're done with Cambodia, just come back to Korea. Like, your family's here, your friends are here. Just take some break in Korea, and whenever you want to go out, you can obviously go out again. And yeah, I really appreciated it. But at the same time, I had another conversation with another friend around that similar period, and my friend literally told me, just give yourself some time, a couple weeks maybe, because right now you feel like you're so depressed, you just need that family support and everything, but you just started having your own life here, not the life that you had with your ex-boyfriend. You are doing something for yourself, and if you give up on it right now, and if you actually go back to Korea, I don't think you're gonna love it. I think you're gonna regret it. That's literally what she said. And I started thinking about the possibility of me staying here longer than I thought, and experiencing more and trying something new as well. So all in all, at the end of the day, I decided to stay. And right now, as I look back, I'm so grateful that I decided to stay. I met so many awesome and cool people. I traveled even more. I've been to, I went to Siem Reap again. I went to Kirirom with the friends that I made here, and I went to Korong and Korong Samloem, and I went to Monterey by myself too. So I actually ended up traveling more in Cambodia, and just like I mentioned, I met so many cool people here, and I got a new job, and I moved into a new house. I met amazing roommates, which are all the things that I had not been able to experience if I had ever gone back to Korea, right? I wouldn't have been able to enjoy that life if I just gave up and went back to Korea, and I did not. I decided to stay, and then I stayed, and I don't even have words to describe how thankful I am that I actually made the decision to stay in Cambodia. But yeah, that's really something. That's really something. And another thing that I also learned last year is that I'm so resilient. I never thought to myself I am that resilient, but I was going through a lot too. Like I said, I was very depressed, I was very lonely. I thought I was going to be okay, but for a couple months, starting from April, I was really not by myself. But then I made new friends here. They were so supportive for me, and eventually everything just worked out. Not automatically and naturally, for sure. I also tried so hard. I put a lot of efforts when it comes to my mental health. Then I started doing more meditations. I started reading more. I started having actual like meaningful conversations with people. And I also stopped drinking. That's also one of the biggest topics that I want to talk about in my video. But yeah, I stopped drinking since last March. And yeah, obviously I put a lot of effort to be better, to become a better version of myself. So yeah, resilience is something that I found out in myself that I had never knew about myself. It's really crazy that I didn't even think about the part of myself, really resilient part of myself. But I realized that the harder the situation was, the more resilient I was becoming, and I was actually more able to bounce back. You know what I mean? Like, when the situation was hard, that I was so close to think to myself that I'm done, which is what exactly happened in April, because I thought I was done with Cambodia, and I literally called my dad and just cried like a baby. But then I still had the strength to pull myself out of that depressing thoughts and super intense emotions, and I made the decision to stay here. And there are so many people that I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful that I am still here. But obviously I have some plans for this year. But yeah, in this video, like I said, I just want to talk about last year. And also I told you I quit drinking since last March. I remember I stopped drinking on the 30th of March. There's a reason. So there is this guy that I went on a date with around the time, which, I don't know, it just happened. And we were having a conversation, and I remember he told me that he doesn't drink. I was like, okay, that's very cool. But then I kept thinking about it, and I thought it was really powerful, because I'm sure whenever he would go out, people would ask him, oh, like, you want to go for some drinks, maybe you want another beer, maybe you want another glass of wine, if he had ever drink. But then he doesn't drink, first of all, and second of all, if somebody ever asks him if he wants to drink, he would just say no, because he doesn't drink, and that was his principle. And I thought it was so powerful and really awesome, not because he was different from someone else, but because he has the strength to say no to things that he doesn't do, which really resonated in myself, because I would just go out, and because I know for sure if there's another beer, if there's another glass of wine, I would just say yes. So if someone asked me, Serin, do you want another glass of wine? I would just say yes, why not? I'm just gonna have it, because I drink anyway. But ever since I met the person, ever since I actually started thinking about how powerful that can be if I'm ever able to say no to drinks, I just thought that would be the coolest thing that I could ever do. I just wanted to try it out. So I stopped drinking, and I haven't had any alcohol ever since. So I remember the last time that I had alcohol was the 30th of March. And I haven't had any drinks since then. And it's going pretty well, and I feel so much more powerful because I would go out a lot. I love parties, I love meeting people, I'm such a people person. So people would ask me all the time, oh, Sarah, like, you want a beer, you want this, you want that, and I would just say, no, thank you so much for asking, but I quit drinking. So yeah. And every single time that I say that, I gain even more strength in myself, and I feel even more powerful, because now I learn how to say no, which is kind of difficult if you're naturally extroverted. It's so difficult for you to say no if you're like that extroverted. You just want to please people, and you just keep saying yes. But one thing that I learned ever since I stopped drinking is to be able to say no, and I love it. I love it, just to be able to say no, thank you so much for asking, but I don't drink. it's just so cool. I just love it. Yeah. That also happened. One of the things that obviously it was very, very, very hard and difficult last year was that I got COVID. It was around August, I think. It was like only a couple weeks after I started working at a new school, which was really, really unexpected. So I was not. Who is ready to get COVID, right? I was obviously not prepared for that. But I got COVID. I eventually recovered, but I was severely sick. So I literally thought I was gonna die. I didn't die. Thank God I didn't die. But yeah, I literally thought I was gonna die. But I recovered it. I recovered from COVID pretty well. I had some side effects even after. I would say side effects maybe. Lingering symptoms. I still had lingering symptoms even after I recovered from COVID, but now I'm like very healthy. Like there's nothing going on in my body. I'm very, very healthy. And that was it. And another thing, what happened? Obviously I got vaccinated last year. So I got COVID, I got vaccinated, I was going through a breakup, I had a bike accident, I stopped drinking, and another thing that I wanted to talk about is that I finally went back to learn Spanish again. It was always on and off. I would learn it and then just take a break up for a while and then get back to learning Spanish, learning a little more a while, and then probably quit for a while again. But ever since I started learning Spanish again, also last March, I haven't stopped ever since. And I think a couple days ago, it was my 300 days streak in a row. I haven't stopped learning Spanish for the last 300 days, which is a lot to me. I think I have achieved something. I really feel super powerful. So, yeah. Is there anything that I want to talk about last year? Maybe traveling. Yeah. Majority of the travels that I did last year was with other people, but one time that I traveled alone, I did a solo trip last year to Mondulkiri. I actually took some videos from Mondulkiri and I still have to edit, and I just have become super lazy when it comes to video editing, so I will try my best to find some time and edit those video. And I also took some video from Korang Salmon, and I also have to make that video too. But yeah, I know it's super random that I'm just talking to you about last year. Like, you would be like, why do you even want to talk about 2021? Like, we were so hopeful for that year and nothing really happened because obviously COVID was still staying. I reckon last year, to me personally, it was a year of growth. I feel like I have grown a lot last year. Not because I was getting older, but because I was going through a tough time, and that time has taught me how to be stronger and how to be more resilient and how to be more respectful to myself. Because like I mentioned, I'm very much of an extroverted person. And as an extroverted person, it sometimes is pretty difficult for you to say no and to keep the boundaries with people. And last year, a few moments had taught me how to draw some boundaries and keep those boundaries, which are super healthy and which have been working for me really well, because I used to have a little bit of difficulties, I would say, when it comes to drawing boundaries and keep those between me and my friends or even acquaintances. But last year, yeah, like I had experienced some moments when I would learn how to draw the boundaries and keep them in a healthy way, not in a disrespectful way, for sure. Yeah. That's definitely something that I had learned last year, and that's still something that I'm working on because I'm still very extroverted. So yeah, that was it. I know it's super random. This video is really not going anywhere. I just really wanted to talk about last year. Just had some moments to appreciate what I had gone through last year, people that I have met last year, and the travels that I was able to do last year as well. So yeah, I just hope you find this video fun or interesting. That I just hope you're feeling like you're talking to your friend. I mean, if you're my friend, then you're obviously talking to you might be feeling like you're talking to me in person, even though you're watching my video. But even if you're not my friend, I really hope you're feeling like you're just listening to your friend talking about last year and having a closure, having a good conclusion about last year. And I will probably, or most definitely, take another video about my plans this year. I did make a lot of plans for this year, and I'm very, 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 very excited for them. Yeah, that's it. I really do not know how your 2021 had been, but I wish you all the best for this year in 2022. And now, I don't know, it's Lunar New Year. Have some good break and have some family time, friends time. I know COVID is still getting in our way and it's still making our life so much more difficult than ever before. But yes, I really hope you still have some good time, have some good break, have some good food, maybe read a book or two, maybe listen to some good music and give yourself some chill and very relaxing time as well. And I will see you in another video about my new updates, probably about my new plans for this year. Yeah. But thank you so much for listening to me talking about 2021, and I wish you the best. Thank you so much again, and I will see you in the next video. And yeah, bye.